Hello and welcome to season 3 of the Wellness Journey podcast. Today's episode is all about the power of movement and exercise and how fundamental it is on the wellness journey. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice that somebody's missing. So unfortunately, Suzanne is not very well today, but thankfully, Victoria Hood, who is a fitness expert and strength coach, is joining me today to talk about this fabulous topic. And we want to wish Suzanne, lots of love and kind of get well wishes as well. So get well soon, Suzanne. So Victoria, would you like to introduce yourself and let our listeners know a little bit about you?
Yeah, hi. So I am Victoria. Hello. And I've been in fitness probably all of my life. So I started back when I was a child as a dancer. I went through all my teenage years as a dancer. My degree is in dance and movement. Even back then, actually, I lifted weights as well, even though that wasn't really the done thing. But that's a. But I also studied movement. So even though my degree is in dance, my main interests were movement practitioners, Feldenkrais, Alexander technique, Pilates. Anything like that, anything where people just move, and it fascinated me. Not necessarily linked to strength training, but just the way people move and why. So as I say, I always lifted alongside of that. I thought it was really important to be strong all the time and bring that into my dance career. I then actually changed completely, which is a bit random, and ended up being a cyclist. When I came into cycling, I also realised there was a great big gap in women coming into the sport, and this is a whole another subject on itself. But so I basically set up a team alongside myself cycling, and basically had the first women's team that had a full pathway from youth up to elite senior. And actually all of our first intake of youth girls stayed in the sport and then went on to become world champions, national champions, currently riding Olympic squad, for GB and stuff. So, I mean, it worked. It was great. So I did that as well as my own career as a cyclist. And then I am obviously also, a strength and conditioning coach, an endurance coach, and I'm just fascinated with anything really movement-wise. But I train women. I do train athletes as well, but I do tend to train women because I just think weightlifting in women is so important.
And train women of all ages?
All ages,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely all ages. For sport, for longevity. I do get women coming to me, obviously. They want to lose fat, they want to look good. But, I would like them to try and change their mentality with that and just think about, the actual real benefits of weightlifting, which, all of the rest will just fall into place if you just think about getting strong,
Yeah. Okay. So for you, where has movement and exercise, what has it done for you personally on your wellness journey and for your well-being?
I honestly, I think, if I didn't have that in my life, I don't know what I'd do. It's so important for me. It's just to be able to move and to be able to move well, and we're not talking about, actually, let's do talk about that. If you can walk into a gym and deadlift, and you're going to leave that, you're going to feel fantastic about yourself, right? The confidence that gives you being able to lift properly, weight lift, is just exceptional. But even without that side of it, just the fact that you can move and you can move well, how freeing is that in your life? I have women coming to me, and older women, and we've reversed the fact that they were losing their independence.
Yeah.
You need to think about this. It's a long journey with weightlifting, but you want a strong body, and that's why, and it's so important.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed the difference in my physical body since turning 40. Yeah. My strength declined massively, and what I was able to do declined. And then when I had issues with Graves' disease and then issues with knee issues, my outlet for stress relief, for clearing my head, for making me feel good, was always running.
Yeah.
I've always used running since I was a teenager as my way of a bit of me time, get out in nature, clear my head, make me feel good, that sense of freedom. It just filled up my cup. Filled up my cup every time. And then when I wasn't able to run, to have that taken away from me was just huge. And the effect that had on my mental health. My mood declined. I was really depressed. I was really quite, like, I used to get really upset and emotional seeing a runner on the side of the road. I'll be driving down the road and I'll see runners go past, and it would make me choke up, because I loved running so much, and it meant so much to me. And that's when, obviously, you know, I came to you for the first time a couple of years ago, is because I had to get stronger. And even though being a physio, I know all the exercises to do, I know how to lift, I've always been, you know, done things like yoga and Pilates, and I've always been active. But having somebody, like, I guess I came to you for accountability. Because I don't like the gym environment, because I find, and I think a lot of women think this, they go into that gym environment where they've got all those weights, and it's intimidating. It's intimidating. Sometimes it's quite smelly. It's quite cold. It's not really a very, you know, inviting place. So I would stay away from a gym environment because I want to be outside. I want to be in nature.
Absolutely.
That's my happy place. So I knew that there's no way, if it was up to me, I would go. Even though I knew I had to get strong, because I don't like the environment. So I came to you, and it made me accountable for, right, let's go and strength train once a week and lift some weights. And, you know, I'm back running, and I'm back doing what I love. And it's the happiness that gives me, the joy that brings me, you know, and knowing that I'm approaching 50 now, and I'm still banging out half marathons. And that brings me real joy. And not only that, it's that confidence again, and that, because I noticed as I was less able to do stuff, you know, my confidence went down. And also I actually felt less safe in the world. I felt more scared. Because it was like, I'm not as able now. So I felt more vulnerable. So there was lots of different layers that happened with that. So I'm very grateful to you that obviously we've been on this journey together, and you know, it's helped not only my physical health, but my mental health also.
Absolutely. And I would sort of expect that, you know. I mean, it's interesting what you say, though, that you know, you came to me to build that strength, but actually, you know, everything that we do and everything that we've built up to doing now, you know, that it has almost give you that running back, hasn't it? So you've come to weightlifting, but actually now you're running faster. You're stronger, you're less, you know, injuries prone, and, you know, and all of them benefits that weightlifting brings, you're experiencing. And actually you can almost cut your volume down slightly on the running, which I think is where sort of people go wrong as well. They want to, like, you know, they think, I need to lift, you know, I'll do everything, and then it's too much. You know, you're using the weightlifting to support what you want to do. That's the thing, you know, you're never going to come into a gym, like you say, and be like, this is going to be my new home. You know, not like me. You know, I go around bloody searching for weightlifting gyms full of bodybuilding men and all of that. You know, that's my thing. I love it. But I totally...
Can I stop you there? Have you ever felt that intimidation, or that I don't belong here? Or because I feel it as a woman, I feel that in that environment, I feel like, I don't belong here.
And you're going to hate me for this, but I haven't.
That's amazing.
Not in a gym, but maybe that's just because, you know, when I was a teenager, I didn't really know why I wanted to lift, but I just knew I should. And I used to go straight into the gym, even as a teenager, and just go to the free weight section, you know, and I'd be lifting, you know, and I just used to think, this will support my dance, you know. And I remember at the time, even the dance teachers and stuff, you know, saying to me, this is too much, you know, we don't do this. I said, well, we should do this, you know, because this is what makes you strong. So I think I've just been in that environment for so long, and my dad always went to bodybuilding gyms. So even as a kid, I was used to going into that type of spit and sawdust gym. So I think it's, you know, but take me out of that environment and put me in another environment. And yes, I've felt that intimidation. You know, if you took me to a running club or something like that, I would probably feel that same intimidation. So I can still understand it.
Yeah. And how would you sort of, you know, what would you say to our listeners now who are listening thinking, yeah, I've never exercised before, I find gyms intimidating, I find going to running clubs intimidating, I'm not the sporty type, and so I don't want to be seen looking sweaty or not, you know, being at the back. What would you say to those people who think, do you know what, I do want to be stronger, I do want to be more active, I do want to be able, physically able. How do they start?
I think, I mean, it's hard, but I would find a community that you fit with, you know, or you find, obviously I don't want to sell myself on this, but you find someone like me, you know, who can give you those basics. Nobody's going to come into me. I know what I'm doing, right? So I'm not going to smash somebody when they come through a door. It's not about that at all. We're going to look at movement. We're going to look at movement patterns like you do, you know, in your job. And we're going to analyse that and find out what's working, what's not working, you know, what we need to do, you know. And it's going to be a long journey. So that person is going to come in and they're just going to have a nice intro to movement, you know, and movement skill. And then as we go along, they will start getting stronger and they will start lifting. And before you know it, I just think that lifting just brings confidence and it creeps upon you without you even knowing you've done it.
And what if, you know, people are not looking for that? What if they're looking to join some dancing or maybe, you know, a swim club or possibly a, you know, rambling club or something like that? Is it just take that first step? Just make contact with that, with the person, with the organizer, or you know, maybe even ask a friend or family member, hey, will you come with me? Maybe having somebody to hold your hand.
And you'll find that community, you know, where you fit. I mean, even if it's, you know, people don't always need to have a community. They could just up their steps, you know, but up in their steps as well. You know, people have a battle with this thing. Oh, I've got to do 10,000 steps a day. Well, what if that's like when you're cooking tea, you're dancing? That's steps. You know, what if music does it for you? I know I dance everywhere. You know, I'm stood brushing my teeth and I'm skipping from one foot to the other. That's your steps, you know. It's like, I've just recently started line dancing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and so I go to a class Monday nights, you know, I didn't know anyone. I went in and we started line dancing and it's absolutely brilliant. It's so much fun. And it's 45 minutes. You know, and also as well, you're working your brain, you know, it's not just...
It's the social aspect as well, isn't it? Like when you've got that community and you're meeting people in person, it's that social network. And I think that's a real importance as well, you know, with movement and exercise. And there's also a lot of online communities. So if people are struggling to take that leap into... you know, go into that gym or go into that class because they feel scared. And I've felt scared, so I know how that feels. You know, there's beautiful communities like I teach on Her Spirit on a Wednesday morning. And that's an online community of, you know, women getting fitter and stronger and healthier. And it's lovely because everyone's posting on there about what they've been doing and... You know, they can all join in the live classes. So there's even online things if that is too scary, if it's too scary to sort of be in person. But I definitely would say, you know, have a friend to go with or maybe, you know, getting in touch with somebody because there's a lot of people out there that for exercise and movement is scary, isn't it? So it's just getting it all together.
And I think, and for women as well, we've been groomed, you know, so we've been, you know, there's still that thing of like, you know, if you go into a gym and, you know, most people are going to sort of, they can't help it, it's society, you know, they're going to take a woman, oh, there's all your cardio stuff, you know, there's all your, you know, a guy goes in and they're like, you know, and they're like, oh, you want to get big, bro? Do you know what I mean? And they're going to take, like, here's all the weights and everything, you know, so it's really cultural as well. We're stuck with that, you know, women don't lift still, you know, and I know that a lot of women do lift now, but it still seems scary, but obviously that's what I am. I am a strength coach. So for me, it is all about getting people strong, you know, and starting them with all of them fundamentals of movement, but getting them lifting weights. And that's not, you know, that's a journey. That's not a quick fix. It's a long journey so that, you know, where are you going to be? You need to look, you think, where am I when I'm 60? What about my 70s? What about my 80s? You know, can I play with my grandkids? Can I run up and down the street? Can I bend down to a cupboard? You know, one of my clients, she came to me really sort of losing the ability of movement and becoming very frail. And one of the biggest things, after 3 months of training her, one of the biggest things was, which was just amazing, she said, I went to my mammogram and I could get into the positions. She said it was so embarrassing. She said it was so humiliating for me before to go because I could just never get into the positions. But now she's got this mobility. That's through strength training. So people they forget about that aspect of life, you know, with being strong and being able to move.
Yeah, I mean, movement is fundamental, isn't it, to our wellness.
Yeah.
Freedom of movement.
And your independence.
Yeah. It's huge. And as I said earlier with me, you know, when I was less able, came the lack of confidence, came the vulnerability, came low mood, came just, I went into myself, and then all of a sudden I felt more anxious because I was then more fearful because I felt less able. And I think as you get older, you've then got the fear of, well, what if I fall? What if I fall and then break something? And obviously we're very mindful as women that through menopause, you know, the osteoporosis and things like that, you know,
which we need to weightlift for, you know.
Yes. So that is bound to be on people's minds, you know.
I think there's also that issue as well with like looking at exercise as a means to lose weight, you know, and it's all about women. What do we look like? Can we lose weight? It needs to be moved away from that because, you know, it's about so much more. And it's about building a strong body and building that confidence and changing your mentality. And, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, if you're lifting weight, you're building muscle. Eventually, you're going to start leaning out. That's what happens. And you're going to look good. That's what happens with weightlifting. But it's not the full goal. You know, if you just get started and get on a journey, that will sort of take care of itself. You know, don't make it your priority to be, oh my God, I need to be so thin and I need to be this and I need to be that. You know, think about being strong. Just get as strong as you can.
Strong, not skinny.
And everything else will fall. Right, you know, one of my clients, her daughters play rugby. And they are amazing, right? High level rugby. One of them's just gone in for an operation. She was on the bed and they came in to give her the gowns to put on, and the nurse turned around to another nurse and said, oh, we're going to need a bigger one. Right? And then went up to this girl and said, you've got quite big calves, haven't you? Right? This girl went, thank you. Yes. Absolutely made up that this nurse had said that to her. And like her mum said to me, I would have been mortified if someone said that to me, but she was so proud of that muscle. And I thought, what an amazing mindset. What a brilliant, because you've taken it away from, you know, all of the negative connotations of it, of looking good, of looking a certain way. She doesn't care. She's fit for purpose, you know, and she's got the muscle mass. She's big, she's strong. That's what she wants to do, and she's proud of it. You know, what an amazing thing. And I just thought that story was brilliant. I was like, fantastic, you know.
And I think for women in particular, you know, we tapped into obviously the fact that a lot of people put hand in hand exercise and weight loss. You know, that's why they're driven. I mean, that's certainly why I was driven when I was in my teens and 20s. Was about weight loss rather than anything else. But how do we encourage, like, we want to obviously change that perception first of all, and, you know, like you said, we've got a strong, resilient body, but how do we stop, you know, young girls as well from not taking part in exercise or in an active lifestyle because of, you know, they don't want to look sweaty, they don't want to, you know, ruin their hair or their makeup.
But all them things that you're saying, so all of them things are fed to them by the media, aren't they? So the fact that they don't want to look sweaty, they don't want to ruin their hair and makeup, you want to take them away from that. You know, so they don't want to live their life feeling like that, you know. And I think sport and exercise, that's where it comes in. You know, it's absolutely, if you can, my girls, for example, you know, on the team, you know, they finish races, they're covered in mud, but they're exhilarated, they're so happy, you know, and I just think once you get into that sport environment, all of them other things go, you know, because actually your focus becomes about what it should be.
Yeah.
And the competition that you're aiming for in sport as well is a healthy competition. It's not what do I look like or what do I, you know, how do I compare to this person? It's all about I'm competing properly now. You know, this is where I need to focus my energies. And you imagine being part of a team or something like that, like rugby or hockey or football. I mean, I think they are just fantastic for girls. You know, you've got that supportive environment and you're there and you're training and you're covered in mud and you're strong, and it is absolutely the best thing to get your girls.
Of that community, isn't it? You've got this little group, and
that's it. You have the community. You've got the support, you know, and that's what you need to stop that drop off as well with girls. You know, when I set up the cycle team, the figures were just ridiculous. So youth girls, their figures were still quite high because at that point they still had quite a supportive environment with their family. And then all of a sudden they got to junior and it just went poof like that. The figures just dropped off. And there was nothing, no pathway. GB didn't even have a pathway for them.
Wow.
So that's why we came in and we brought the team in. And it was just like, if we can just offer a community, a supportive community where all these girls are together, they're all racing together, they're all friends, it's, you know, it's fun as well. And that's what kept them in the sport, you know. And
I think you've hit the nail on the head there as well with fun. I think the more fun you can have with movement and exercise, the more joy it's going to bring you.
Yeah.
And that is going to fill your cup up more than anything, because you're getting, you know, you're doing something for your physical health, your mental health and your emotional health. It is targeting everything. And perhaps sometimes we choose exercise that maybe isn't fun, but because I've got to go and do this because I'm honing in on, I've got to look that certain way or etc. If you can just do something that's fun, then you're going to continue to do it. And it's going to make you feel good. And isn't what wellness all about? Feeling good.
Like going to a line dancing class, you know, or dancing while you're making your tea, or, you know,
or
it's
putting roller skates on.
Absolutely.
Going on roller skates or riding horses or whatever it is that brings you joy. I think go and do. And so if you're not, you know, as active as what you'd like to be, if you'd like to be a bit more active, then maybe have a little think, have a little reflect, have a little journal over, you know, what did I do when I was young? What did I enjoy? You know, did I enjoy being part of that netball team when I was in school?
Absolutely. And there's teams you can go and do that.
There's all ages now, you know, for male and female. There's lots of different things available. I know we've obviously talked mostly about women here, because we're talking about our own experiences, but you know, just go and do something that brings you joy, and that will definitely fill you up and definitely make you feel good. And you know, you think of all the different diseases, conditions that are out there that we go to the GP about. Every single one of them, exercise they recommend. Whether it's mental health or physical health, exercise is always
And it's not just the things that you're thinking of, like you say. It's not like you don't have to go out and do a hard run. You know, you don't have to do that. You just want to get a bit more active. You just need to get your steps in. Obviously, I'm going to promote the weightlifting. You know, I mean, because you need to be strong. You know, you want to be strong because that's going to make your life easier as you get older. But even weightlifting now is recommended by the heart associations. You know, so you could go and, you know, and again, weightlifting doesn't have to be what you think it is. You know, it's just some strength, you know. So if you can find someone who knows what they're doing, it's really not as intimidating as you will think it is. And that also can be part of your exercise. And then you just get your steps up, or go, like you say, you know, go do what you love. Do what you love.
What you love.
You don't have to go running. You don't have to go pounding the streets, you know.
And it can be as simple as, okay, I'm working from home, but I'm going to commit to walking a mile a day, stopping at lunchtime and going for a mile walk and coming back.
Yeah.
You know, it can be as simple as that compared to, oh, actually, I sit at home all day, every day because I'm working, and then I'm seeing to the kids, and then I'm, you know, that little break can make the world a difference.
And do you know what? And I have clients who say, yeah, but I've only got 20 minutes, right? I say, what's your favourite song? They can't get out. What's your favourite song? Put it on and dance. Yeah. That's it. You know, you put your favourite song up, and you're happy. You're releasing endorphins. You're so happy when you listen to your favourite song, you know, and you're getting active, you know, as well.
Yeah. So it can be simple. Okay, so every episode we actually talk about intentions for the week. So what intention would you advise people who wanted to be a bit more active this week? What could you recommend to our listeners?
I would recommend absolutely going down the route what I've just said and putting your favourite song on every day and dancing and just be happy.
Okay, so dance every day to your favourite song.
Absolutely.
There we go. Have that as an intention. Let's all do that this week.
Happiness and steps.
Brilliant.
All in one.
Brilliant. What more do you want? Exactly. So thank you so much for joining me today, Victoria. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Lovely. So thank you so much. And Suzanne, I hope you're feeling better as well. We've missed you today. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, you know, please tell your friends, please share this episode, and you can let them know that we're now on YouTube, Spotify and Amazon Music, so you can even ask Alexa. I hope she's not going to come on in the corner now. And so please, thank you for listening. We're so grateful that you're part of this community, and as always, sending love. So remember, you are awesome today and always. Bye.